you have a question, as always, please raise your hand. We've got a microphone. Who's got the microphone right here? We'll go to Chris Baldwin here first, and then raise your hand and get my attention, and we'll come to you next. Go ahead, Chris.
Kelvin, Damian, having a game like that, coming off an ankle injury, does that speak to his experience? And what did you see?
I think it speaks more to the work he's put in. Damian's a hard worker. It's his first game. It's not like he's not going to get better. There's a lot of things he did tonight he's got to get better at. But this game's not about any one player. I don't think anybody really stood out tonight. And I think that's kind of the strength of this team. We don't depend on one guy. Our defense is our star. How we rebounded, how we defend. We've been doing this a long, long time. Before any of these guys even were on this team. And I don't know how much longer, but, it's our system. Everybody has a system. Everybody has a way they want to win games. But I don't really get carried away with how kids play in the month of November. November's a comma month. March is a period month. Everything you do in the month of November is a comma. Now, there's an educated factor that'll look at somebody and determine that's who they are. It's kind of like Mark Belanger was a starting shortstop with the Baltimore Orioles. He's the first guy that I remember people pegged as good field, no hit. So if he hit 300 the rest of his career, that's the way people would have thought, because they put a period at him as soon as he had a year where he hit can't hit. Well, guys get better. That's what November's for. Just keep getting better. But I thought our defense, we worked so hard on that, and I think that's the hardest part of the game to teach, because it requires so much selflessness. You have to have better chemistry on defense than you do offense. I thought our offense looked great tonight. We just didn't make a lot of shots. Our execution was excellent. We ran our stuff. The ball moved, missed a shot. Run our stuff, move it, missed it. But the reason why we're usually been a top 10 offensive team a lot of years, top 15, which is, remember, there's almost 365 Division I schools. We've been in the top 10 in the nation, top 10 in the 15 in the nation, top 20 offensively because of what we did tonight, with 20 offensive rebounds, which I think was how many shots we missed tonight? 25 or something? 35. How many shots we missed? 35. So we had 20. We got 30. We got 20 of our 35 shots back. Think about that. And J1, and then we had a couple of head scratching turnovers the first half, trying to throw it back out for a shot. But these kids in their first game. LJ has never ever played a game for Houston. It's his first game. Damian's never played a game for Houston. It's his first game. JoJo, OJ's the best shooter on the team. That's not an opinion, it's a fact. He's not. But they were tonight, so don't put a period at the end of the night for them, and don't put a period at the end of the night with LJ. Put a comma. Because LJ's liable to come out here next game and have 7. And these jokers here are liable to come out and make 1 or 2. Who knows? So that's why I don't really get carried away with night-to-night stuff.
Damian, how do you feel defensively you're fitting into the team?
I'm starting to find my niche, every day, just continuing to take more pride in it every day, because that's our standard. It's demanded, and we're not getting the job done, it's going to let you know, and, you got to sit back and watch and learn from your mistakes and, just be able to come ready and guard defensively, and that's the next step for me that I got to take with every day and not taking plays off and, just completely buying in. So I'm still taking pride in it. I'm still learning from it, and I think I got a lot of room to grow. But I think I did an okay job, but could definitely been a lot better tonight.
Kelvin, the defensive part falling under maybe the non-negotiable, is that something that you can see a lot quicker in a season compared to offense and how they're going to grow offensively, but you know that the defense
Yeah.
from day one?
Yeah. Again, our offense tonight was, I don't, on the outside looking in, but you guys aren't coaches. I mean, I don't evaluate our offense on whether the ball always goes in. Did we make the right pass? Did we set the right screen? Like JoJo, you can tell, is still trying to learn. We ran a set that had LJ wide open. He turned around and ran into the guy guarding LJ. Turnover, little stuff like that. But he's a freshman. He's going to make a ton of mistakes. Crash Jordan over here was doing the same thing last year. If he ran up and down the floor 3 times, he had 4 or 5 crashes. He'd run into somebody. JoJo's doing that right now. But do you guys have any idea how hard it is to hold a team to 31 points? That's the story. That's it. That's hard to do. I mean, look how many shot clock violations that they had. That's hard to do. They're trying to score. They're trying to get a shot. And then, but we got to get better in a lot of areas. We need to play a little faster. That was a big point of emphasis at halftime. Next thing you know, Jamal, who didn't play much the first half, and that was okay with me. I mean, these games like this are opportunity to get some of these other guys in there to let them run. But you saw Jamal speed down there and hand it off to, who was he? Dropped it off to, I think, JVA or J1 for a dunk, right? JVA for a dunk. I mean, that's the kind of speed I like to play off missed baskets or steals. But I thought we were running in place a lot tonight. But they were trying hard. We're trying our best to do good. But our happy zone tonight was at the defensive end. And I thought our unselfishness was outstanding. I mean, I didn't see the assist to turnover ratio. We had first half, we had some uncharacteristic mistakes. That's not us. It seemed like we had 30 turnovers, but if you average 10 turnovers a game, you're probably going to lead the nation. That's how insignificant only having 10. We only had 1 the second half, and that was off a missed call by the official.
Kelvin, you played, I think, 10 players in the first half. How much of that is sort of early season trying things out versus, the depth of this team?
That's probably what it is. I'm not going to play 10 guys first half many nights. I don't want to. Why would you? But we have 10 good players, though. A guy that's really improved that didn't play, might have been the last guy in, was Ramon. Ramon's a good player. He's a good player. His freshman year, we're 40 minutes away from going to the Final Four. Think about that. He's 40 minutes away from going to a Final Four, and he was the only guard that came off the bench. And now he's the last guy in the game tonight. And he's improved. He's a lot better player now than he was during that Final Four year. It's credit Ramon, though. He spends a lot of time. I come up here at different times of the day, early in the morning, late at night. It seems like every time I come in here, Ramon's always in the gym working. And that's a credit to him. I'm really proud of him. Because adversity is, he's had some adversity he's had to get through. But he's also learned a valuable lesson, which is what our job is as coaches, is teach these kids that nobody's going to give you anything. You got to work for it. Life is not easy. Life gets in the way sometime. You start taking things for granted, then be prepared to suffer the consequences. And everything has consequences, everything. So, but our kids were connected tonight. Second half, when you're up 30, what were we ahead of halftime? 26, 24. We're 24 at halftime. Nobody would have said a word if they would have had 35 points second half, because that's what most teams do. You get down by 30 or 40, and your coach subs, and everybody takes their foot off the gas, right? Every kid I put in that game tonight did his job, and they did it to the top of their effortability. Is that a word? Somebody, let's get that one going. Effortability, dependability, trustability, responsibility, effortability. Ability to give effort. That's the definition. Go ahead and put it in.
Go ahead, Josh.
Emanuel, kind of going off of that, games like this early on last year were, probably one of your big chances to get playing time. Just, how big reflection on that was that for you later in the season when you kind of got some really key minutes and also just moving forward to today?
I think mainly last year, just getting in and really just breaking me in and getting used to the play style just gave me a new look at the speed of the game and how things work, and it made me more comfortable leading into later in the season. And I think it's similar to now, but now that I'm more comfortable, it's just about getting my confidence up right now and getting used to how this team is working, because each team is different, but it's all the same standards. So just getting in there and doing what I'm supposed to do and what Coach asked me to do.
Chris, you have a question? Bring the microphone down here to Chris, please.
Kelvin, how have you seen Emanuel, his confidence and his overall game, grow since last year?
Yeah, well, I have a different perspective on Emanuel, and this is important in that he didn't have a senior year in high school. He had a compound fracture of his ankle. He broke his leg and ripped ligaments. So for 18 months, he did nothing. And you're starting to see the kid we recruited. I think Emanuel's final three schools was Houston, Louisville, and Arizona. And there's a reason why. That's how good he was. I watched him play against, what's the old boy's name? Was it Memphis?
Monty Bates.
Yeah, Monty Bates. I watched him give him 38 or 40, whatever it was. And but we obviously know how to identify and evaluate guards around here. And when I saw Emanuel play, I thought he was a Houston guard. I thought he was a guard that would do well in our system, and I thought we could help him. He didn't guard anybody, but none of them do coming out of high school. But he had offensive gifts, like Damian. Damian has, you can tell Damian was going back and forth tonight. He's not comfortable yet. LJ's not comfortable, but they will be eventually. But there's nothing to get comfortable with on defense. Defense is thinking, reacting, and following instructions, playing hard, and you got to be tough, and that's what we hang our hat on around here. But Emanuel's still growing. He's a talented kid now. Emanuel's talented, very talented kid. He can do a bunch of stuff, but he's still just a sophomore. He's got a long way to go. He's going to get a lot better.
Coach, just your thoughts on this year, the team wearing number 32 on the uniform, shoes, everything.
Well, I remember the day I told the team we were going to do that. And I thought about it that morning before I went to the players' meeting. We were doing construction on the second floor over in the Guy B. Lewis Center, Development Center. But our kids were just emotional mess. Now, Damian and LJ and JoJo and Cordell and Sid and Jacob, those guys didn't know Reggie. They knew of him, but they didn't know him. Emanuel, Jamal, J1, those guys were highly, highly emotional. And I asked a grief counselor to come in and talk to our kids. And after the, I can't remember if it was before or after the grief counselor, these kids probably remember, as I told them that, Reggie's always going to be in our hearts. That's why we have memories. Even though someone near and dear to our hearts left us, we have his memories. And we're also going to put number 32 on our jersey this year, so he'll be close to us. And I could tell that, they all nodded their heads while they were wiping their noses and tears off their eyes and stuff. But you know, a couple of them still have their days, especially J1. J1's like that. But somebody always, there's not a day goes by we don't mention Reggie somehow, some way, whether it's someone asking me a question or I think about him. We watch film every day. You know, Reggie was probably our best pick and roll defender, our smartest pick and roll defender. So we use clips of just his edits on side pick and roll, middle pick and roll, slot pick and roll, angle pick and roll, whatever, to show him this is how Reggie learned how to do this, and then he created his way of doing it. So Reggie's you know, still special, always will be.